When it comes to secondary audience research for me, when I'm doing social realism, there's a lot of data which isn't recorded for them because they're not aimed at making lots of money. It's more about the whole message behind it and everything. So when it comes to attracting a certain audience, it's more based on the concept and the interest within the social realism rather than the themes, I guess. I did find some information for Tyrannosaur, and that was aimed at higher 30s, going on 40s age group, and that was the majority of watches. But there were a lot in the older teens and late 20s as well. Uh, but the idea of my film, it's going to be more like uh, this is England and train spotting and stuff, and there's an element of youth culture. So when youth culture is involved, it tends to attract more teenagery types, but so teenage age groups in early 20s. But as well, on top of that, my uh, film is going to be set in the 90s, I think, what I'm thinking about anyway, depending on what the questionnaire says. And if so, that'll attract a lot of like mid 20s, late teens, which would be a good audience for what I was. So hopefully, I'd tailor my film to that type of audience, and that's where I'd get the most views, and that'd be similar to sort of like the audience range of This Is England in that setting. Was set in the early 80s, uh, and that got a lot of people who were born in the 70s and people who were born around that time. That they were one of the main viewer groups. So it totally depends on what era it's set in and what the whole subculture and youth culture style it's going for. And I mean these days a lot of youth watch uh, social realism films set in the past as a whole, like subculture and style stuff like that. They like to look back and try and replicate it all and stuff. So that that's what I'm trying to aim for is late teens, mid 20s, and that's my target audience. And but also I'll be getting a lot of because the whole it's quite a mature genre, and it attracts like 40s, 30 year olds as well. So my primary target audience will be late teens, early 20s, but I will be tailoring it towards 30s and 40s as well because that social realism films attract that sort of audience, sort of like mature people who are going to make a social comment, who've had social experiences and understand what's going on in the world and in the UK more importantly, uh, in working class environments and stuff. So it's it's quite a tricky thing to do, but yeah. So I'm gonna obviously try and find more data for my target audiences and stuff, viewing stats for the films. But the stuff I've put in the post below is all the Pearl and Dean stuff. That's all I could find on the audience and viewing rating and stuff. I found somewhere the Tyrannosaur one, and like I said, that was mainly 30s, the 40s odd. So my audience research has probably confirmed that I'm aiming towards a youth culture based audience, so late teens, early 20s, and on top of that, a more experienced, knowledgeable viewer who enjoys the social comment sort of thing. So